Disney's been kind of having a bad couple of days. Their stock price not doing so well. Though this could change, especially if Black Panther Wakanda Forever does well, which could happen. There's a couple of reports out there saying that the box office projections are showing a decline. I'll wait and see. It's so tough to tell with these Marvel movies because you'll read stuff saying that it's going to lose money and then they make tons of money. So I'm not going to get ahead of anything here. I'd like to see how it does today for Thursday previews and tomorrow before I make any kind of announcement that, oh, it's doing bad or anything like that. Because we've seen time and time again where these movies are projected to fail and they end up doing really, really well. I will say, though, that some of the cringe for this is almost laughable. Riri Williams looks awful. They actually gave the character's helmet cornrows. You can see them right there. They're built into the helmet, and that's because she has cornrows. I don't know if there's any in this in the pictures here. Like, the character doesn't have them in the comic, at least not when she first appeared. I don't know if that's changed. But the character in the movie has them. So naturally, we build them into the helmet. That's pretty cringy. Why would the helmet have cornrows? What if she decides to change her hairstyle the next day? Is she still going to have the cornrow helmet? This is just stupid. It's cringy and dumb. Okay, especially since the character's helmet doesn't even have, like, this doesn't even look like the comic book version. So, really cringy, almost laughable, to be honest. And if anything, to me, it makes the movie look bad. Now, here's what's interesting. I want to show you something. Something's going on with the Wakanda Forever Rotten Tomatoes. This actually dropped into the 70s and got boosted back up. It was in the 90s. Now it's at the 86. It's really interesting stuff going on over here with this movie. I almost wonder if Rotten Tomatoes is going to lock the critical score, which wouldn't shock me, but the reviews for this are all over the place. Like, there's actually rotten reviews, which I'm shocked. It's like, well, you're not going to get invited back to that world premiere, are you? But I'm actually rather shocked to see this getting any kind of a negative review. So, but you see here, 25 rotten reviews for this movie. That's pretty interesting. Now, the first one didn't get very many bad reviews. This one is getting quite a bit. I hear it's a very depressing movie. My main criticism for this movie, other than the weird cornrow helmet, is all the clips they've released for it are cheesy. And what is the point of why would you call this Black Panther? T'Challa's not in it. But I'm going to ignore a lot of these fresh ratings because a lot of these people will just suck Marvel off because, I mean, it's the thing to do. But it's crazy to see top critics give this a bad review. So here's one from the New Yorker. The performances are slotted into the plot like puzzle pieces. The script is the main product, and it's engineered with the precision of a high-tech machine with all the artificial artistry to match. Listen to some of these. Coogler and his team nearly pull it off, leading to moments of real power and emotion not normally found in superhero films, and yet Marvel's need for a shared universe practically undermines it at every turn. Here's another one. There's a smaller story about Solace buried somewhere in here, but Phase 4 has no interest in that. As it stands, Wakanda Forever feels as lost as forlorn as the Wakandan people. The true prestige Marvel picture, it borders on being less of a film continuing themes that resonated with audiences and rather about itself resulting in artistic tensions, both interesting and frustrating. Wakanda Forever, in short, faces the same dilemmas as the previous film, but has lost any poise to combat them. Certainly the film has its high points, but ultimately it pales in comparison to its predecessor, one of the best entries in the field of superhero cinema, and feels largely like a placeholder for the next movie. That one makes a lot of sense because they introduce a new Black Panther. There's new Black Panther origin in it because Shuri becomes a Black Panther. That's already been spoiled all over the place, so don't blame me if you care. The hot toy was just released, like the pictures of it. It actually looks really nice, but it says Shuri Black Panther on it, and the toys are out. Everyone knows it's Shuri. That's not a shocker. Shocking. Here's another one. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, unfortunately, doesn't really come close to its strong predecessor. It imitates it far too much and never really gets going. In the end, the more than 2.5 hours become a real test of patience. That one's brutal. Still gave it a 5 out of 10. 2.5 hours, and you have to be patient to sit through it. That one is kind of scathing. That's a long time to sit through a movie. 2.5 hours is a lot. Here's some more. After a hearty start, the film sputters in its second half, dragging through its bloated runtime on its way to its at once overblown and underwhelming finale. Not very good. There's more. I'm gonna stop there with these. There's a couple more here if you want to pause and read them. But a lot of the negative reviews say basically it's gloomy, too long, which I agree with. 2.5 hours sounds a long time. Sounds like a long time. And nowhere near as good as the first one. That kind of seems to be the message here. Now, the reviews giving it a positive outlook, all of them are saying it's best ever. Greatest Marvel movie ever since the last one. How can Marvel top this since last Marvel movie? Stuff like that, because these people just shill. Whatever they're told to say by the mouse, they'll say. I don't trust them, because even the negative reviews here aren't really that bad. And in a lot of cases, if they weren't giving it a score, you wouldn't even know that it was a bad review, because they try to spin the negative into a positive, usually. Well, it's okay. It's a great start. I'm sure the next one will be great. Anyway, will this movie do well? It's an interesting question, and I don't have an answer for that. Projections are down for the movie, but I've seen projections be wrong several times over this past 2 years, so it's tough to say. If any movie for Marvel could bring about a big profit, it's probably this one. I mean, look how well the first one did. So it's tough to say, but I'm not liking what I'm hearing about it. The cringe for this movie is off the charts. It's tough to say. It's going to really depend on word of mouth. People that go see it that first weekend, what are they going to say about it? What are they going to tell their friends and their family? That's really what this movie needs. It's going to need good word of mouth and people saying that it's a good flick. That'll help it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you check out my Rumble, my locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.